If you've been itching for the hot looks, high performance, and driving excitement of a Pontiac Grand Am, now's the time to act.
Get off your Pontiac and ride! Pontiac ride!
Because now with up to $1,100 cash back for qualified first-time buyers, the hot-handling Pontiac Grand Am fits your budget like never before.
Rebuild excitement!
From the last haunted video store in the universe, where every VHS is cursed and the rewinder hungers for brains, it's time for Shock Horror! Good evening, boils and ghouls. I'm Jason, your host, head clerk of the crypt, and the guy who still rewinds his nightmares before bed. Tonight, we're raising the dead, literally, with the wildest, loudest, most punk rock zombie franchise ever shambled onto tape. The Return of the Living Dead series. These movies have it all. Brain-munching mayhem, naked graveyard dancing, and a federal government that doesn't know whether to wind its ass or scratch its watch. And somewhere in that radioactive stew of Reagan-era anxiety, something beautiful was born. And I've got a special guest skulking through the Trioxin 245 soaked aisles tonight. You know him from the Countdown and is one of the sickos behind the slashers. He's here to help me dig through every toxic sequel and questionable reshoot this franchise ever spewed up. Paul, are you there?
I am here. Ghoul Keeper, VHS Rewinder, Jason, I am back. Great to be here. Wonderful to be a part of this auspicious occasion.
Now, before we unseal the drum, Paul, a little plug for the true degenerates among us. The new season of the Slashers is here, and we're carving through the late 80s blood pool like it owes us money. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and don't let them catch you at the link down below. And if you really want to dress like a video store ghoul, we've got fresh merch at bingemovies.threadless.com. Limited run tees straight from the slab for binge movies and the slashers. Grab one before they decompose.
Folks, for dentures that feel fresh as a morning breeze, try my Mint Fresh Polident. It's got a minty mouthwash ingredient, so it freshens up dentures as it cleans tough stains. Try Super Strength Polident Green, the mouth freshening clean.
Paul, this is not a Spooktacular.
It absolutely is not. The first thing I was going to say is Spooktaculars are dead. They finished last year. And you may think, binge lords, obviously gender neutral term, out there that this is our clever way of resurrecting the Spooktacular, but it absolutely is not.
No.
Right. It absolutely is not. This is completely different. Not a Spooktacular.
And there's nothing clever about us. No, this is Shock Horror. And when we come back from this commercial break, the party will just be getting started.
If you're concerned about your pet's health, please listen to a talk with Betty White. Then I'll be back with a free offer.
What love for animals really means is concern for their health and their long life. It's disease you have to worry about. That's why proper nutrition is so critical. I buy Hill's Science Diet pet foods. They're formulated by veterinarians, experts who know that excesses in sodium and minerals and other nutrients can harm pets. Science diets are properly balanced for each stage of life. Oh, there's nothing I trust more than Science Diet. Nothing.
If you're a concerned pet owner, learn how Science Diet can help your pet. Call 1-800-354-4200 for free samples of canine or feline Science Diet. Plus facts on nutrition and why Science Diet products are sold only through veterinarians and pet food retailers. Call now. Sample Science Diet, the pet food concerned pet owners trust.
Welcome back, my little grave robbers. Hope you're ready for a trip down the mortuary aisle with 1985's Return of the Living Dead, the punk rock masterpiece that asked the age-old question, what if Night of the Living Dead had a sepulcher kink and a mohawk?
They were resting in peace until they were rudely interrupted.
What do you want to do, Scuzz? Sit on the gravestone?
I just want to party.
This place is a mess.
Now look who's awake. They're on the way.
Break.
They're back from the grave and ready to party.
I think things are getting out of hand.
The Return of the Living Dead. Rated R.
1985's Return of the Living Dead has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was directed and written by pervert Dan O'Bannon with a story by Rudy Ritchie, John Russo, and Russell Streiner. It is the triumphant return of Clu Gulager, last seen in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. We talked about that, Paul.
Yes.
James
We did.
Karen, one of my favorite all-time character actors, who's great in this and terrible in another one.
100% agree.
Linnea Quigley, last seen in Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, which we cover
because of flashlights.
And Miguel A. Nunez Jr., who we know from those damn enchiladas, Friday the 13th, ooh baby, a new beginning. This film,
Nice.
Go ahead.
Was it a New Beginning or was it Jason Lives?
No, he's in A New Beginning.
Okay,
Yeah.
I believe you. You know that better than me.
He-
It was also in Tour of Duty, which was one of my favorite shows growing up.
And Joanna Man.
That I don't know.
August 16th, 1985, this film was released at a budget of somewhere between 3 and 4 million. It made $14.2 million. A toxic gas leaks from a medical supply warehouse, unleashing indestructible zombies on a punk rock crew and their unlucky friends.
Dan O'Bannon proves he's not a one-trick pony in this genuinely unsettling horror film that breathed new life into zombie cinema.
Dan O'Bannon had the female cast come over while he had a bunch of guns surrounding him, looking at porno on the screen to...
I did not know this. Like, when you said pervert, I'm like, okay, what's that about? Glad you're filling me in.
To try out for the film. And I was just thinking, that's pretty much the exact same way that I got you to do the slashers. I invited you over. You came over, had a bunch of guns laying around. I had my dick out. There was a bunch of hardcore pornography, gaping assholes on the TV. And
Wow, is that true?
Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. He was a weird guy, man. He was a weird guy. Look, ranking episode, sure. Only one of these movies is good. It's the one that we're going to talk about right now. The real drama.
You're 100% right.
The real drama comes in with how are we going to rank the next four.
Well, I was going to say, because there might be some dissension in the ranks.
Right, yeah. That's where the juice is are we going to agree on the other four? Because this is clearly the only good Return of the Living Dead.
This is absolutely one of the great horror films. I wouldn't say of just the 1980s. I would say of all time. This would be in my top 20 horror films of all time. It may even be in my top 10 if I ever sat down to do the math on that, because this might be the one and only time I've ever said this. I certainly never said it on the fucking slashers. Watching this film now as an adult, it was better than when I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
This has so much going for it, from the committed performances from the actors. You said James Cameron. You forgot to mention Tom Matthews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Tom Matthews, who's our, what's his fucking face? He's the third Tommy Jarvis.
Tommy is how can I remember forget his name? It's the same as his actual name. But yeah, he's great. This student, I have such empathy for the journey his character goes on in this movie from where he ends up. I think probably the real skill in this film, though, is the relationship between Bert and wife, I forgot his name, Doc. The way that their camaraderie, which is built up over the years, doesn't sound like in the first line of dialogue, I don't know if he's going to help us, but by the end, those two are like, best buds, and you really want them to live and survive. And then it's fun watching all the punks and the spin-offs, the mods, the everything else that's in this group of friends. I want to say slowly get picked off. If I got one ding on the film, it's that not enough of them die before the bomb falls at the end.
God damn, man.
But apart from that, this is so unsettling. It has so many different unsettling ideas. I know, but they're all dying a bomb drop. Like,
that's
not enough
what
of them
makes
got
it
eaten.
great. We've seen a group of people die thanks to zombies. That's Night of the Living Dead. Other than Ben, who's obviously killed by white supremacy.
Or the Fulci films.
Yeah, and all the Fulci films. That's right. Well, and Dawn of the Dead, and all the Romero films.
Yeah.
What we've not seen is basically the response be so nihilistic. And I think that's what is
government ineptitude, as you said.
I think this movie is the perfect mix of humor and nihilism, but the laughs are coming as much from the cast's performance and delivery as much as they are from the dialogue. Where I think
I didn't find that funny, to be honest, maybe because I was so unsettled. But there was a couple of chuckle-worthy moments, but it's definitely a horror film first.
Yes, but I think the performances, because it's populated with mostly character actors, especially in like with Clu Gulager and the guy who's playing oh God, I have his name here in my brain, but I lost the guy who's playing the not escaped Nazi war criminal who works at the crematorium. You understand?
Dom Kalfa.
You understand that that's what that character is, right?
Yeah, well, he's carrying around a Luger. I was like, okay, that's interesting.
He's listening to Nazi march music on his headphones.
That's true.
And the first comment about him is that he likes to work alone late at night at the crematorium, which is a Holocaust reference because he's burning bodies. And then there's
I thought he was the most practical of all the characters.
Then there's a joke about how he talks about how you couldn't burn the rabid weasels. It's not humane. Or he doesn't want to shoot him. He's like, I missed that. He's like, that's not humane. But he's an escaped war criminal. So he's got the German Luger. He's listening to literally Nazi marches on his headphones. He's got the blonde hair. He speaks German at one point when he's talking about I think
you're right. I'm not arguing. I just feel bad about liking him now.
But that's the thing is he's like extraordinarily likable and the most practical of everybody, but he's literally in hiding. And then the movie gives you the clues, but it never just says, oh yeah, he's a hit.
Never says it out loud. Yeah.
And in fact, Kaltenbrunner is his last name, which is one of the names for one of the famous Nazi war criminals.
Yeah, right. It's Ernie. That's
Ernie,
his name. So I call him Doc.
Yeah. So I agree.
I
really
the second
like
film
the
with the first film. Sorry,
but there's some subtext there, which I think fits perfectly into the nihilism of the movie and the humor of the movie and the sleazy punk rock aesthetic that is meshing seamlessly with the gore. And then you have this legit LA punk rock scene soundtrack that is available on certain home video releases of this movie and not others. But it creates this extremely unique, uncomparable vibe that makes this movie way more successful than on paper it has any right to be. Because this is a offshoot, not sequel from a lawsuit between the guys who created Night of the Living Dead. And they basically got was the Living Dead title, and they had to come up with a movie off of it. John Russo writes a script. We're familiar with John Russo's script because we watched one of his movies in the slashers in season 1.
Yeah, it's the one about the cult, right?
I believe I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. And not good. And so when Dan O'Bannon got the script, he was like, I want to direct it. And I have to have the liberty to rewrite the entire thing. And he did. So somehow we ended up with an incredible classic who has a problematic director and writer, but an even more problematic cast member because one of the Nickelodeon pedophiles is in this movie. Brian Peck.
Oh, I
think his name is Brian Peck. He
plays Scuzz.
Scuzz, yeah. He's the Mohawk one who gets his brains eaten by the old lady. Yeah.
In the mortuary.
Yep. He's a convicted sex offender. That's right.
Wow.
And producer of some of the most popular shows on Nickelodeon and the Disney Channel, including The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, and The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
None of which I've seen. Never even heard of him other than as being Scuzz. So he's a convicted sex offender.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you ever watch the documentary like More Brains?
I don't think so.
No. It's like a 5-hour Return of the Living Dead documentary. It's really good. He's the host of that entire documentary. I think he was the producer of it too. Or
that's before he got done, obviously. Then,
I think that people already knew he was a sex offender, and he was still working in Hollywood, anyways.
That's a story that's too commonly told.
Yep. So, but despite all of that,
I was going to say, can we bring the vibe of the show down any more in the first 15 minutes? Well done, Jason.
I think you have to address
Nazi sex offenders.
Yeah. It's the American way, brother.
Perverts.
I think the other thing that really works for this is that you can tell, and this is maybe a direct comparison for where we're going to go, that this cast is having fun.
100%. It feels like they like each other. And that's one of the things that really leaps off the screen. Even the disparate group of, because they're mostly punk right? It's
Yeah.
punk sensibility, as you said, punk soundtrack. But they got a couple of these sort of mod-like, more preppy looking characters in there as well, and yet they all get along. No one's, they yell and scream at each other or whatever else, but no one's picking on each other for anything other than how sick, what's her name is, Leanna Quigley's character, Lena Quigley, Trash, that she wants to get nude and do things. And even who's the spider? Not spider. Who's the big suicide? He's like, get away from me. Have some respect for the dead.
Which is very funny. Yeah. What do you think this is? Some kind of a costume? Yeah.
This is a lifestyle. It's a choice I'm making. I'm saying
get away from me. What's wrong with you? Have some respect for the dead. Yeah. That's a funny line. That's a funny delivery. I like.
Yeah.
The entire opening before the entire cold open where we get James Cameron.
That is such a great synopsis.
Doing the synopsis, instantly telling us this is how it does or doesn't fit into the Night of the Living Dead, and guiding us through in the most natural way. I think, as somebody who has aspired as you have to write movies, you always think about the economy of storytelling, and it's so difficult, even in genre filmmaking, maybe even more in genre filmmaking, to be as economical and still as engaging and entertaining as this movie is. This movie is perfectly paced, perfectly economical in storytelling. It establishes all of its disparate characters just instantaneously. It there's never slack in the movie. Just when a scene starts to wear out its welcome, boom, we're somewhere else with another group of characters. Or just when you would think it would be, it's too much of the humor, bam, we're at the horror. Too much of the horror, bam, we're in the humor. Or bam, we're in a mix. And to be able to mix and match those tones is extremely difficult. To make a movie that is this bleak and scary and gory and funny is really fucking difficult. And for Dan O'Bannon, I think this was it. Like, he obviously worked on Dark Star, but I think this is his directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
He obviously did not direct Alien, which is the other one-trick pony I was referring to.
And if you listen to...
he directed something called Bloodbath in 1969, and then this was his next film after that, and he only directed one other film in 1991 called The Resurrected.
So he basically directed 3 films, and there was almost 20 years between his first and his second. And effectively, you could probably say this is his first, if you want to call it, studio film, because it's still
Bloodbath was a short film. So there you go. This is his first feature film,
and it's like he obviously has ability, like just the way that certain decisions he makes. Like there's a scene in which Clu Gulager is like talking to all of them, Bert, and then he takes a step towards the camera and the camera meets him as he's walking in. It's an old Hollywood kind of a trick where we go from like a wide or a medium wide to like a kind of a close up. And it's like, that's a deft hand. That's a decision that a cinematographer and director makes that we don't actually see in movies anymore. And like when you're watching this, like you're watching people, whether it's James Cameron or Clu Gulager, these guys had worked by this point in Hollywood for like 30, 40 years. So they know you could just give them a scene and they're going to elevate that scene. And they're going to take something.
At least at this point in their career.
Yes. you could take something that is just generic dialogue on paper or exposition on paper, and James Cameron is going to act the living shit out of it. No pun intended. And like there's so much personality just in him, like, wow, typical army screw up, like just the whole, the way he enunciates his gestures, like everything about it. And Tom Matthews is great in that scene too, as this kind of idiot, weird limbo kid who's like half punk, half jock, it just literally, I think if you took the cold open and was like, this is how you write the start of your movie. Like this is textbook. Like, this is how you write the first 7 minutes of any horror film. This is how you do it.
I actually don't think it's just limited to the writing either. Even some, you mentioned that camera shot and the edit. I think there's a couple of really nice sort of dollies through that warehouse as well, where it sort of establishes the size and the scope of the place, and we're getting to look at the half dogs and then the look at the cadaver in the freezer and everything else, setting everything else that's going to pay off, right? So there's no, as you said, there's no wasted elements here story wise. Everything that's shown in those first 7 minutes we get a reference back to or call back to
Yep.
to elevate and establish the horror, and in some places the humor as well. So this is, I think you're right. I think this is one of the best scripts that does, certainly through the 80s, and I want to say this millennium as well. It is perfectly paced. It is. We haven't even got to my two favorite parts of the film yet, though, which I really want to switch to now if I can. One, watching this film as a kid fucked me up. And for a long time,
Is this the
I didn't
explanation
know
of
why.
what's wrong with you?
It could be. It could be like for the longest time watching. So three things really. The end of this film, which I'm going to skip to for a moment.
Yeah.
When yes, they drop the bombs, and we get that the one part of the whole film which doesn't work for me is we get this interstitial of this asshole general coming home, being a prick to his wife, and then going in and signing on that yes, I'm at home now. I'll be monitoring from here. Like I understand how it comes back at the end, but it feels very out of place there. And it's not organic and doesn't gel at all with the rest of the film. But at the end of the film, he presses the button, the bomb drops. Freddy bursts up through that trapdoor. I'm still not sure how he managed to do that, given all the weight and whatever. He's not that strong. But anyway, it has the moment. He says Tina. It's Tina. The bomb drops. They all die.
Yeah.
That really messed me up as a kid.
Yeah.
When I watched this, I was probably 12 years old when I watched. I couldn't believe the film went down that road.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the radioactive or the dust goes up of the trioxin and then it comes back down in a wider area. And the implication, of course, is this is the end of life as we know it because nothing's going to stop it from here.
Yeah.
Because in this world, in John Russo and Dan O'Bannon's world, the zombies can't be killed. Every time they get being stabbed in the head, I'm like, why didn't it die? Because I've been so well versed in The Walking Dead and the Romero films that, destroy the brain, destroy the zombie. It can't keep functioning at that point in time. But they just keep coming in every way, shape, or form. So that's horrifying.
Yes.
And then the thing that really, as an adult, messes with me is the concept of why are we eating brains? That beautiful prosthetic half woman that gets dragged through the door, as you said, that feasts on scars. Good riddance to him, or at least the actor playing him, and says, we do it because of the pain from being dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how horrifying is that? Now, I hope that means only if you're resurrected are you in pain. Not that you're in pain the entire time after you're dead, waiting for the chance to come back and eat brains, because that's even more horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
But as a nihilistic, nasty, unsettling concept, this is it. It doesn't get much worse than that as far as I'm concerned. They're not mindless beasts just hungry. They're doing it to stop the pain of being dead. Holy shit, that one is amazing.
I think they have this unenviable task, right, due to legality, which is we have to differentiate for legal purposes our zombies from Romero's ghouls, which would later become zombies. And how do we do that? And you could have done that in a way that's really dumb and thoughtless and just distinct enough to not get sued. But the genius of what they do is they figure out, okay, look, the horror of Romero zombies isn't that they're fast, it isn't that they're smart, it's that there's effectively no explanation for what's happening. There are more dead people on this planet than living. So if the recently dead came back, we'd be fucked. And it's our own panic, effectively, our inability to have solidarity and work together is going to be our undoing. It's not even really the living dead that are going to get us or the ghouls. It's us that's going to get us because we're not going to be able to work together against this threat. And you're overwhelmed by this threat that we should be able. It's weak enough that we should be able to conquer, but we can't because we're panicky animals, dumb animals.
Yep.
That's terrifying in its own way because it, especially with the first Night of the Living Dead, I would even say the original Dawn of the Dead, it feels so true to life. It ends up being inadvertently, I think, especially with that first film, more of a social commentary than maybe Romero and Russo intended. Okay, that's all great. You have to take it in the other direction. And the other direction is we have an explanation for what creates these creatures. It's us. It is chemical warfare. It is the residual of this misguided Vietnam War, right? It's the war on drugs. Well, they wanted to spread on marijuana or whatever, right? It's like stupid government policy, stupid government bureaucracy, stupid government fuck-ups are going to be our undoing, which ties directly into the nuclear bomb, right? Like the entire idea of having these weapons on this planet is suicidal. It's just as suicidal as making a fucking chemical to reanimate that accidentally reanimates the dead, and then just being like, well, I'll put it in a steel drum and like hope nothing happens, right? And they like, yeah. And so like the entire movie, when you really think about it, is almost a metaphor for like misplaced weapons of mass destruction. Okay. So you got that piece of it. That's fucking terrifying, especially in like the Cold War. And then where we are again now, where it's like, oh shit, World War III is probably going to break out. Fuck, we're fucked. So there you go. But then what's also scary is they're not fast, but they're smart, or they have a level of intelligence. One of them talks, a few of them talk. They can trick human beings into coming to them to not for the purpose of multiplication, but to try to like, fulfill this insatiable hunger that they have. And the fact that they can speak and somewhat reason makes them more like us, not unlike us. And the fact that like you could have a conversation with one of them, theoretically, as long as they're under the effects of recently having 8 brains. At least during that time, they're semi-conscious enough to be able to conversate with, but you still can't negotiate with them because their pain is so all-consuming that even if they didn't want to eat you, they couldn't help themselves. Like they're not weird, like gas from Venus or a satellite that came back from Mars or whatever brought radiation. And maybe that's the cause, or maybe like they're us. They're a different form of us, and that is, I think, extra terrifying. And they also then adding this wrinkle of, oh, there is no way to destroy them, because like, what's the way to destroy them in Night of the Living Dead? You kill the brain, you burn the bodies, right? What's O'Bannon do? You can't kill the brain, doesn't matter. And if you burn the bodies, you're just going to make more of them. So it's an automatic escalation of the Night of the Living Dead ghouls. And what this movie is a masterclass in, other than like super fun exposition that doesn't feel like exposition, is escalation of stakes. Because every time our principal characters make a decision, oftentimes they make the only reasonable decision they can.
Yeah, they do okay.
Yes,
exactly.
They're not stupid.
Yep.
They're fucked anyways. It just always goes sideways. And so you feel the walls closing in on them in that little funeral home. And to have that much tension because at a certain point, the movie basically mostly gets reduced to like one set, right? It's the crematorium. And we kind of go back to the graver a little bit, but after a while, like they're all kind of in that, or most of them are in that, the crematorium, and that takes a lot to be able to keep that fucking interesting.
Yeah, 100% agree, and it nails it perfectly well. And we can't talk about this film, Jason. Mm-hmm. This will be the longest discussion we have about any of these films for sure.
No,
you don't think so?
No.
You're thinking talk longer about other ones?
Yes.
Well, okay, good luck to you. We can't talk about Return of the Living Dead without talking about the greatest zombie that's ever been put to film, the greatest practical effects-driven zombie who's shuffled across this.
Are you talking about
Linnea
Quigley, who is not anatomically correct? Is that what you're talking about? Her crotch was zombie.
No, I'm not talking about
vampire form.
No,
why is she a vampire?
Man, I don't. Any reason to keep her breasts out?
I have two kind of nitpicks, okay? Because I've praised this movie a lot. We see that if you get your brains eaten, some of them come back, like trash comes back, right? These zombies don't eat flesh; they only eat brains, and they eat brains for a logical reason, which is kind of terrifying, right? Like Romero zombies, they just eat flesh. They just eat arms, meat, whatever, right? Which is scary in its own right.
You get bitten, you turn. You're infected.
Yeah, they're eating you for like, our brains are their medicine. Our brains are their dope, basically.
Yep.
Right?
And they know. They smell it. They can sense it. They know. Yeah. Instinctively, they have to eat.
But they don't eat the rest of us. They just eat our brains.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
So theoretically, every time they bite somebody, since they're not eating the flesh, they're only going to be trying to eat the brains. Right?
Yep.
Why Suicide doesn't come back as a zombie? I don't think the pedophile or PDF file, I should say, comes back as a zombie, but Trash comes back as a zombie.
very good point.
Suicide is still in that basement when they go to do the phone call where the tar man is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that part doesn't make sense. And the other part is they all...
now you make me drop my score.
All the zombies kind of look the same, except for Linnea Quigley.
Except Trash.
Who is legitimately some kind of weird vampire from like Vamp. She looks like
Grace Jones.
Grace Jones from fucking Vamp. Like, why is she from The Hunger or Vamp? Like, why is she just this weird other creature?
And why does she have no crotch?
Well, that they censored her genitals, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Her design, weird. I've always thought, it's not bad, but it doesn't fit the rest of the movie, and I'm most like, that's fucking weird looking.
Yep.
Okay, those are my nitpicks. Okay, now talk about Tarman.
Tarman, that is nightmare fuel. Any way you cut it, even that opening shot where the credits are rolling and
he's like melting.
The mist is melting. It's melting away the corpse in there to this Tarman that we get, and then when it comes shuffling out there, the actor they got to play that particular character is sensational with the physical movements and like absolutely astounding. Even just looking at a photo of him sitting here now, the top of the head's got no flesh on it, then the eyes are sort of bugging out. The way that the flesh is molded back from the teeth, so they're pronounced. There's blood.
And
all
you're
over
talking
him
about how he looks in the second one, right? Because that's the best looking Tarman.
I don't think so. I think this is the better one.
Oh, no, I thought you're jumping ahead because the second one's better than this one.
No way. You're insane. Oh, wait, you are joking. Thank God. I wasn't sure.
It's late here. It's late here as early there. That joke will land on you in about 12 hours.
Yeah, okay. Jeez. It's astounding. Astounding the difference that a couple of years and a different crew can make. Even though when it says brains the first time, and poor whatever her name's Tina is just locked herself in that cupboard that locker out of sheer desperation, and then it goes to, all right, well, I'm going to rip you out of there. I'm going to use this device, which is also horrifying.
A great visual piece of show don't tell. It's another way of distinguishing. Oh,
these are smart.
Yeah, you can't just board yourself up and not and think you're going to be safe. Like, he's going to use a wench and he'll just rip you the fuck out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I even love the way that Frank says, third step, watch it. It's a doozy or whatever he says when they're walking down. And you know it's going to come back later, and it does. Yeah. It's great the way it comes back. So, yeah, just absolutely and always brilliant. And every other, The Walking Dead owes this particular character so much.
There's so many little lines. I mean, like, you better watch your tongue, boy, if you like this job. Like this job. Like, that little exchange is great. Yeah. He's got a great point, Bert. Like, that's a great. You mean the movie line? Yeah.
I love that line. The movie line?
Yeah. Well, it worked like the way when Frank calls Bert. Well, it's not fucking working now, goddammit. Yeah.
You're in the movie line. When Frank calls Bert and he composes himself.
Oh, he takes a drink of water and he pats himself down. Yeah. Bert.
Smooths his hair.
Oh, yeah. He's so good. I love everything about it. Yeah. Yeah. Keep the roast in the oven, honey. Kiss, kiss. Yeah. It's just like everything about it is fucking perfect. I love James Kieran. I love him in everything except for one of these other movies. And he's truly one of my favorite character actors. So to see him, love him in Poltergeist.
Light it up.
I just love him in everything he's ever popped up in, except for the next movie we're going to talk about. So
let me ask then, his demise, has he turned?
Yes.
And he throws himself into so there is compassion in amongst them, the recent dead, if they wanted to be. Whereas Freddy is like, I don't give a shit, I'm going to eat my girlfriend's head. Whereas he's like, no, I need to kill myself because I can't become what they are.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It is, yeah. I mean, you could say like he's on the razor's edge, right? So like, he's mere seconds away from being a mindless brain craving zombie. But I think he's, for whatever reason, and like also like self-immolation, a zombie or someone very far down the road of becoming a zombie who's like, I'd rather burn alive in a crematorium oven and put myself in it
than harm someone.
I'd rather like literally send myself to hell. And they try to bring that idea back, and it fucking sucks later in this series. But I think there's something really bleak about his ending. For such a funny, kind of over the top character, there's something really bleak. He puts his wedding ring on the burn, like, because it's like the idea that it's his love for his wife that keeps him like, he can't imagine eating his wife's brains. Because he sees Freddie craving Tina's brains. He's like, they ain't going to be fucking me. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, and then
it's another string to this film's nihilistic boat.
It is, and and then the song that's played is like burn the flames. It's like so weird and surreal and disturbing. The whole thing is fucked. This whole movie comes from a really warped, fucked perspective, and that's why I love it.
And it's phenomenal.
And that's why I give it an 8.5 out of 10. And it's my best of the week. It's my number one.
Shock horror. It's also my best of the week. I give it 8.8 out of 10.
When I say shock, Paul, you say
horror.
Okay, great.
All right, well, stick around because we've got plenty more brain food coming up. But first, a few words from our undead sponsors.
Our dating service, our introduction service, doesn't accept everyone. And that seems to surprise a lot of people. I've always told my staff, if you'd be uncomfortable introducing this person to a son or a friend or your mother, then you don't introduce them to a client. No, we're not snobs about this. I mean, we're not interested in what kind of car you drive or how much money you make a year. What we want is a level of sincerity from basic nice people who want to meet others like themselves. And that's what we do. That's our job.
Ah, yes, the year 1988, where everything was bigger, brighter, and somehow dumber. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 asks the bold question, what if you did the first movie again, but with kids, a little more slime, and a lot less sense? Same gas, same ghouls, same two actors who died in the first movie, back again! Because why let death ruin a good paycheck?
You can run. You can hide. You can fight. But if you're alive, they feel it. They know it. They crave it. And they'll kill to get it. Just when you thought it was safe to be dead. Return of the Living Dead, Part 2. Rated R. Starts Friday. Check newspapers for theaters and showtimes.
Strap in, brain lovers. The producers are hoping lightning will strike twice, whether you or Paul like it or not.
All right, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 came out in 1988. It has a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was directed by Ken Wiederhorn, written by Ken Wiederhorn against his own will. He hated the entire concept. And you've
Is that right?
Yes, he hated it. It is
the guy who directed Meatballs Part 2 hated the concept of this film.
He did, yeah. He hated it. He said he wanted it to be Night of Living Dead meets Police Academy.
Yeah.
Now, as somebody who has watched all of the Police Academy movies, all 37 of them, in basically one sitting, I will link that episode into the show notes down below. I don't know why anybody in 1988, by the time they're half-assed to France, and Steve Guttenberg by 1988 isn't even fucking showing up in the movies. I don't know how somebody goes, you know what Return of the Living Dead needs? It was kind of humorous, but it could stand to be funnier. I'm going to use Police Academy films as the template for the kind of humor I want to inject into my movie. It is a triumphant return of Tom Matthews. This is where I put the Tom Matthews reference. So I didn't forget him. Yep. I just put him in the wrong one.
There you go. You're keeping your powder dry. Got it.
It was released January 15th, 1988, which means they had no fucking confidence in this movie. On a $6 million budget, so more money, it only made $9.2 million. When kids crack open a lost barrel of trioxin, a suburban graveyard erupts, and another wave of brain-hungry undead.
Poor old Ed and Tommy have been through all this before, as pubescent humor takes the place of genuine creepiness in this disappointing horror comedy mashup.
Okay, if you're a physical media sicko, the 2018 Shout Factory Blu-ray release restored the original theatrical soundtrack, which you will not find on streaming versions if you try to listen to it. That's a 2K scan. I don't know if they have a 4K of this one or not. They probably do.
Hope not.
But It's hard to imagine what this script looked like because I think it couldn't have been much more than characters caterwaul, parenthetical, repeat, parenthetical. Like it's just Joey and whatever their fucking names are.
Ed.
Joey and Ed scream and cry and whine.
I called him Tom. I called him Tommy. It's Ed and Joey. You're right.
Yeah, and everybody else around them screams and cries. The special effects look bargain bin. It's a huge step down from the original. It plays like a very bad comic book adaptation that nobody asked for. The only signs of intelligence in this entire film, they managed to write the one main kid who died. He's one of the kids from the Blob.
He's too.
Yeah. They managed to write him to be the only intelligent character in the entire movie. And
he's likable.
He's likable. But every time a new goof joins the ensemble, the cringe level ratchets up another notch. By the time we get that drunk doctor, we have a literal classic convertible filled with fucking assholes.
And he's the stand-in for Ernie. Like every substitution, even
he's a stand for
poor
Bert.
Tom Matthews and James.
I guess
Karen
he would be Ernie. Yeah, you're right. I guess he would.
Yeah. Even James Karen and Tom Matthews,
terrible.
they clearly just both of them are. They've gone from whatever level of perfection they had of their characters in the first film, and decided to go. Well, we've got to go to 11.
So
here with this.
Tom Matthews is on the record in the More Brains documentary of saying the only memorable experience he had of this movie was the craft services. James Karen was drunk most of the time on set, and you can tell in his performance he's intoxicated.
Right, that does explain a bit.
The only way that they would get distribution, the HBO did part of the distribution for this when they were doing that. The only way they got distribution for this one was they pre-sold some rights in Japan, and James Karen, for some reason, had an appeal in Japan. So the original idea was they were going to bring back basically the ensemble or most of the ensemble for the first film and just have them play different characters.
That might have been fun.
And so, but most of them never got the call. Clu Gulager never got the call because he was the only asshole who was on the first set. He didn't get along with anybody.
Right. Okay.
All the other characters, all the other actors were expecting to get a call. Were told they were going to get a call. They never got a call.
Huh.
James Karen, basically paid him a bunch of money to do it because his name sold the movie overseas. Tom Matthews did it because he said, look, the only way I'll do it is if I get to do, he really enjoyed the comedy stuff that him and James Karen did. He's like, I want to do more of that. And he, great, this is going to be more of a comedy. So this is going to be great. And no one had a good time on this movie. Nobody liked the director. The director was way over his head. He was not professional at all. Him and James Karen fought constantly. James Karen was drunk on the set most of the time. Had an entirely miserable experience. He did interviews about it, and everybody associated with the movie pretty much disavowed it.
Yeah, okay. Sad.
It's a train wreck. It's a train wreck of a film.
You'd probably just said all the interesting stuff there, because talking about the actual movie itself is just an exercise in disappointment.
It's the opposite of everything that we could say about the first film. It doesn't escalate in a way that's interesting. The humor isn't naturalistic. It's very bad, broad comedy. It's Police Academy. I mean, it's exactly what it is. You got a Michael Jackson zombie. Isn't that funny?
Oh, God.
He had just caught his hair on fire during the Pepsi commercial. So isn't it funny? The head is like, hey, let's cut a deal. No more brains. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just like what's so awesome about that animatronic that you talked about in the first movie, they have this hideous looking puppet head that's talking. What was so funny about Freddie and James Karen's character, Freddie and his character in the first movie. Now you got Eddie and Ed and Johnny, or what the fuck is it?
Joey.
You know, it's pitched the exact wrong way. They literally all they do is scream and cry the entire time.
Yep. He is so annoying, James Cameron in particular.
On a chalkboard.
Yeah.
The entire time. And then when they're not screaming, the girlfriend's screaming.
Oh, God, yeah. That's all she does the whole way through.
Everybody, it's just wall-to-wall noise. And the thing is, there are no punchlines. It's not funny. It's not clever. It's not intelligent. It's just quite literally just people making noises for 90 minutes.
It is ghastly. This whole film, it is, and it's also like yes, pubescent humor. The moment this film, watching this now, I'd watched this a bunch of times when I was a kid.
Me too. Yeah.
When I was 12, 13,
I think
or whatever,
I saw this one more
funny.
than I ever saw the original as a kid because this one was.
I think I was too.
Always on TV, and cable.
Yeah, and it's a lot safer and whatever else, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind this one as a non-discerning
Me either.
young teenager.
Yeah, I liked it as a kid. Yeah.
So to come back to it now, I was quite looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched this movie in at least 25 years.
Yeah.
Probably more like 35 years.
I hadn't watched it in 6 months, so.
Very sorry for you.
Yeah.
Very, very sorry. And so when I was like, wait, this is not what I remember.
No.
I remember a pretty good follow-up to the original, which is way funnier.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. Like the moment they're falling out of the grave and one of the zombies goes to pull on her glasses. Like, why does the zombie need to put glasses? And then gets stepped on the head by another walking past. Oh my god!
And then the one zombie's hands keep getting stepped. Every time he tries to get up, his hand keeps getting stepped on. Yes.
And so when I saw I didn't know all the background about the director being in over his head, or that he's basically disavowed the film. He's literally gone on record saying the only good film ever made is the last one he made, which is not this one.
Yeah.
That he wanted to disavow from being involved with the film. That just speaks volumes, as you say, does dumping it into cinemas in January 1988.
I think he was a defender of his own work for a while. I think since then, retroactively, he's like, this isn't very good.
Tell me why is that it?
Yeah, but I think that he was like, part of his issue was, there's a whole thing. I think Dan O'Bannon was maybe there was talk of him coming back, and I don't know if he was too sick or if he had a issue, because he was a troublesome sort of person. He always had issues with whoever was producing his movie.
Yeah, what a surprise.
So it's just one of those things.
For shame.
It's one of those things where it's like, it was supposed to be one thing, and it just kept morphing over time. And rather than, which is true of the first movie, it was supposed to be one thing, which was going to be a shit John Russo script, and it morphed into lightning in a bottle. This was supposed to be a follow-up where, hey, we're going to get the whole gang or most of the gang back together, and it's like a repertory thing, but you're all going to play different characters who are kind of reliving a similar scenario, and we'll like pitch it slightly different. And that could have been interesting, but it kind of would have worked in the kind of the weird, loopy, nihilistic humor of the first film if you just like looped it around and everybody's like a slightly different version or is positioned differently. If somebody, but it just didn't happen. It just completely fell apart, and they knew they had something semi-lucrative. So
I thought they did.
Thought that they did. Yeah. So they pumped it out. And again, probably because it was shit, it was on TV constantly. And also HBO had a big chunk of it. So they could air it. One of the things that they would do, and how I know this is I'm a nerd, is they would, when they had distribution rights for a movie on home video, they could effectively show that movie on HBO for free. They didn't have to pay a licensing fee for it. So they're like, oh, hey, well, we helped distribute the movie. We put money in for distribution. So TV distribution, we just get it as like an in-house deal. Which is like why The Hitcher was constantly on HBO. Why certain movies were just constantly on HBO. They didn't have to pay anything for them. So Return of the Living Dead was just constantly on cable TV in the States. And I saw it constantly, and I liked it. I liked the zombie who gets blown in half and his legs are walking around as a kid. I thought when they call on the radio and the kid's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. The guy, he's talking to a zombie, and the doctor's like, well, wait a minute. Who's the president? And it's like, Harry S. Truman or whatever he says. I thought that was funny as a kid. I thought that was so clever. I liked it. I thought it was spooky. I thought it was scary enough. I thought that the bully kid was one of the ugliest kids that's ever been put to film. He's somehow uglier, not as a zombie as he was as a zombie. And then you watch it and you just go, everything about this sucks. Except for the kid.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Michael Kenworth.
Yeah. Like everything about it. I will say, now that we're seeing these movies in HD, I'm of two minds about it. I don't think the movie, the zombie effects aside, I think like cinematography wise, I think the movie kind of looks good at certain times. Like it has more money. And so you can see the budget has been elevated on the screen. once you get to the zombies look like shit. But just the general production design is of a higher tier. However, there's something about kind of the semi-low rent, scuzzy nature of the first movie that fits the punk aesthetic.
Yep.
So like even that kind of works in the favor of the first movie. The fact that the chapel is kind of fake looking, I don't know. It just kind of fits the whole low rent vibe. And this is like, okay, we're putting, I hate to say this. You know what this movie kind of reminds me of?
No.
I think this is RoboCop 2 to RoboCop. When I was a kid,
RoboCop 2 is not very good either.
No, that's what I'm saying though. When I was a kid,
it's better than RoboCop 3.
I loved RoboCop 2 as a kid. That one was always on TV. I loved it. The idea of him smashing Kane's brain and Kane, get her, step outside. Like just the whole, I loved everything about it. Then as an adult, you revisit it and you're like, this is a step down in every, even though there's more money behind
conceivable way.
Every conceivable way. Everything magical about that first movie, tone and genre and exposition and character and performance, it's all just off in RoboCop 2. It's just all wrong. And that's this. This is like, it's all the same shit is here, but it's just like slightly askew to where you end up with a completely, to me, obnoxious, unenjoyable experience.
The only bit that made me laugh in the entire film, properly like laugh with the film, not at the film, or groan or cringe or go, what the fuck, was when they're making reference to the first film. I got this feeling. It's like we've been here before.
Oh, that was terrible, Paul.
You,
no,
me, them. That's the only bit I liked.
No.
I'm like, well, they have to reference it in some way, shape, or form. What are we doing here? But to hear the half-assed, even that.
They did, though.
Like, he was going to bring all the cast.
He was like, you watch your tongue if you like this job, boy. He was like this job. And that was half-assed.
I missed that one because a message here to all the binge lords and yourself. I knew what we were in for this time, and I played it smart, Jason. I played it smart, and I went and started with the last film first, and worked my way backwards to the first.
The last shall be first, and the first shall be last.
Yep, and
very
let me tell you,
of you.
that's the way to watch this series.
You've always been a man very directed by the words of Christ. So I'm glad that you.
Oh yeah, that's totally me.
I'm glad that you've applied his teaching to these films.
Finally, at last, I've seen the way.
Seen the light. Speaking of zombies, look, this is a 2 out of 10. It's my number 3 for the week.
Because of the kid and because of my love for it as a child, as a teenager, I went higher than I gave it 4.1 out of 10. It is my third of the week.
You gave it a what?
4.1 out of 10.
Is that because you were like 25 when it came out, and so it's like just hit you at the right time in your life?
I was 12, you asshole.
This is a waterbed? Wow.
I heard waterbeds are good for your back.
Yeah.
That's a lot less than at the other waterbed store.
This is beautiful. And look at that price.
Yeah.
Look at that price, Frank. I really like this.
It's nice.
Our store-wide big event through this Monday only at all Waterbed Emporiums.
Tell him the Sandman sent ya.
All right, Midnight Misfits, it's time to get romantic. 1993's Return of the Living Dead 3 trades punk for pain and swaps laughs for piercings. It's a story of 2 young lovers, one alive, one not so much. And proving that love never dies, it just gets more decorative. Directed by Brian Usna, the king of squishy special effects, this one's half Romeo and Juliet, half body mod nightmare. Grab your leather, grab your rebar, and prepare to feel feelings you can't legally show on network TV.
Who makes the rules? Who says you aren't authorized personnel? Who says you have to pull over? And who says that when your heart stops beating, you have to die? Return of the Living Dead 3. Tonight at 9. On Sci-Fi. Eat fast, die young, and leave a flesh-eating corpse.
Return of the Living Dead Part 3. 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Brian Usna. Screenplay by John Penny. Triumph Return of nobody because these people never did anything and never went anywhere. This film was released October 29th, 1993 on a budget of $2 million. Made $54,207.
Yet we get another one. 2.
20 years later, a grieving teenager, straight to TV, a grieving teenager resurrects his self-mutilating girlfriend with trioxin only to watch her descend into a tragic hunger for brains.
Army brat decides dead isn't better as he sacrifices everything for a girl he's known for exactly 6 months. Because love is love, Paul. Don't be so cynical. Okay,
Sarah Douglas is Ursa from Superman 2. That's the most interesting thing about this movie. They give her nothing to do, but she's in the movie.
Wait. Basil Wallace, Riverman, was the bad guy in Marked for Death with Steven Seagal. So he's been in more than one thing.
I have never covered Marked for Death, so it doesn't count. That's your canon. That's not this canon. The best line in this entire movie is, Julie, are you eating him? You should stop it. The military's genius plan.
Well,
I don't want to steal your your thunder here.
Go on.
But their genius plan is weaponizing zombies, which are indestructible. We've already established that.
Well, there's a sense to that.
Now, wait. As soldiers, then freezing them and putting them back in the barrels. Okay. But what's one thing we all know about zombies?
They are hard to keep down?
No. When a zombie bites somebody, what happens to that somebody?
Well, they turn into a zombie.
So if I wanted to send this weapon into a hostile population for population control, and I'm like, it's okay, I will be able to shoot them with this special magic freezing powder, gel or whatever, that'll freeze the zombies I sent in, then I'll be able to put them back in the barrel. What about the population of zombies you just fucking created?
Yes. Don't ask hard questions. The military certainly doesn't.
His father's plan doesn't make any sense, even if it worked.
Yep.
Okay.
I think the idea was that they would be controllable in some way, shape, or form.
They're only controllable in the weird suit, the biomechanical suit that Ursa's making.
Yeah, which the other one is making. Yes, okay.
But are you going to... So let's say I go to Perth and I drop Tarman in Perth, which brings up another interesting question. Is this canonically the same Tarman in every movie? He's not in this one, but he appears in like 3 or 4 of them. Or is it a different Tarman in each movie?
I think it's a different Tarman. Although where we leave him, we'll get there when we get there.
So Tarman is like
he's clearly evolved.
Tarman is like the shark from Jaws,
Jaws the Revenge.
Right, where you're like, what shark is this, right?
Yeah, right. What happened to the shark in
They
the
all
movie?
die.
They all die. So in that case,
They're family.
what shark is this?
A friend of the other shark.
Is this like a cousin, a nephew?
You got it.
A next door neighbor?
And you know what's so great?
What?
You see, by having this gimmick, that means that even though this one dies, she still is going to stay living in that stupid town instead of moving into the Middle West where she should be, away from sharks.
If you keep opening these trioxin, what do you call it, barrels, clearly they melt as they dissipate the gas out.
Any body that goes into a barrel is a Tarman.
Will turn into a Tarman.
I see.
Inevitably.
Right. So I take my Tarman and I send him to Perth. And I sick him on you because I want to wipe the countdown off the face of the map as a rival podcast.
Okay.
So boom, it bites you, eats your brains. Now you're a zombie. Boom.
Well, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not the one that gets up.
Sure. It eats Wayne's brains. Insert joke here, Paul.
Yeah. Small meal.
Right. Now all of a sudden the zombie, because it ate his brains, has a taste for ass. So it starts eating ass too. So now it's going around eating brains and eating ass. Okay.
Oh, now it's a porno film. Now you got Wayne on.
Now it's Wayne's kind of version of kink. Okay. I then retrieve Tarman. I freeze him with the magic dart. I stick him back in the barrel. I leave. You and Wayne are now fucking zombies just roaming around Perth.
Correct.
What strategic advantage is it that I've now taken hostile combatants and made them indestructible?
Well, clearly you want to wipe out Australia.
Sure,
our little
but if I want to wipe
country.
it out, it's because I probably want to take it the fuck over. How am I going to take it over? I just populated an entire penal colony with indestructible zombies.
Yep, that have a penchant for ass.
In your defense, I would say though, you guys already kind of are indestructible because you fucking live there.
Well, we are honed.
Yeah,
by our natural surroundings.
You've evolved to live in the most hostile environment on Earth, and you've somehow built shopping malls there. It's crazy.
That's right.
You guys have movie theaters that have scorpions the size of dinner plates in them. It's bizarre.
I don't know about that one for sure.
You could reach into a bag. You could reach into a bag of popcorn, and all of a sudden, a wallaby comes out and just scratching the shit out of your face.
As we run for the kangaroos that are pursuing us down the street to our car.
Okay.
Yes.
You say that isn't true. And how many videos have I sent you of some fucking guy in your neighborhood getting his ass beat on his back patio while he's doing a barbecue, getting his ass beat by a fucking kangaroo? And the one time I sent it to you, you're like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's not unheard of. And I'm like, well, that's insane. That's fucking insane. And a living cartoon creature just moseys out from the bush, shows up in your goddamn patio, and beats the living shit out of you while you're trying to make hamburgers.
So your safety plan is you run into the ocean and get eaten by a shark.
Yeah, well, I would take my chances against Bruce's cousin or whatever the fuck.
What's the shark? Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, yeah. So that part doesn't make any sense to me. The part that does make sense to me is that Julie is hot.
Yep.
And I'm not somebody who's into body modification. I am into now. I saw this at probably 8 years old. Should an 8-year-old
very young for this film?
Should an 8-year-old be watching this movie, Paul, as a clinical professional?
No. I would suggest that was a moment that your parents may not have monitored you closely enough.
Well, that explains why I am the way that I am and why I have the goth girl kink that I do.
There is a bit of that going on here for sure.
Oh, yeah, there is. Look, I think some people like ass, some people like goth girls. Some people want to eat the ass of a goth girl. The shift from punk, which is basically dead at this point, to the alt-rock grunge aesthetic that we get here, kind of goth, early goth, makes total sense, right? We're updating the story for the 90s. However, the execution of this is a mess.
Yes, but I think there's more to this film, certainly than there was the second film, in my opinion. And I think probably the smartest move that it makes, the most interesting move that it makes, and maybe I am speaking here as a clinician rather than anything else, is the idea, or we're really showing in text, not even subtext, that why people self-harm, right? To stop a different kind of pain.
Does it fetishize it, though?
No, it doesn't. And it goes a long way down that road. But I don't know if I've seen a depiction like this. There's very few films out there, certainly not horror films, that depict
and especially not from 1993.
Self-harm like this. Yeah. So I think it's playing in a deeper waters than it looks like at first glance. It is, as you've said, the lowest budgeted film by a long way so far in the series. And it shows. Like the sets are wonky. They've got two corridors that they run down for this military base. But as much as some of the moments in the performances are bad, the idea here of what they're doing and how it works out, and where it ends on a real boom slash cut to black. Oh, Jesus, that's it? Okay, that's bleak.
Yeah.
At least it gets back into the right aesthetic. It's not fucking around in stupidity anymore. Some of the effects, I think, particularly of Riverman when he gets turned into his biomechanical zombie,
it's pretty awful,
blasting bits off.
Yeah.
I like that.
No. I mean awful in terms of it's.
Oh, it's horrible. His character, all he's trying to do is help out.
Yeah.
This poor guy lives in the aqueducts or wherever they are. And he gets it worse than, arguably, other than perhaps Julie, worse than anybody else. It takes some big swings. It misses most of them, but I admire the effort, and I thought this was a much more in tune with the first film presentation and aesthetic. Not aesthetic, because you said it's evolved, but it's a downer, it's bleak, it's nasty, and it's got that tone right. So I give it props for trying.
I would agree with you in the sense that I think it aspires for more. It has some ideas on its mind, and it's in a lineage with a lot of these kind of movies that we started to get at this time, like The Crow, which is obviously like goth times 1,000.
Yep.
But these what if we took Romeo and Juliet and Depeche Mode and The Cure, and we mashed it all up into some kind of a genre piece, and it made this sort of tragedy out of it. And I get that piece of it, and I applaud them for like, let's not try to. It's aspiring to be something more than a police academy movie, which is nice. But to me, like, tragedy only lands when we care about the characters and the characters matter to us personally. And I think that Kurt and Julie are so flat that the tragedy that's befalling them doesn't feel like any great loss. And I think the big hurdle the movie's got to get over. And I'm surprised that you didn't mention this because I thought of you as I watched it.
Well, it might be exactly what I was implying before with my synopsis, but go on.
Okay. I got a couple problems.
Clearly.
She's incredibly disturbed before she's a zombie. There's not much difference between how disturbed she is. Like, she's orgasming thinking about the naked zombie body when they're fucking before she's been turned, right? Like, it's straight, like, she's already, like, the first scene, her introduction is she's already harming herself. She's lighting a bic and she's burning her own hand, and her own friend is like, what are you doing? Like, you gotta cut that shit out or whatever.
Yes, it's true. Yep.
And so there's really nowhere for her character to go because she's already at like self-mutilation. Obviously it gets pretty extreme, but she's already doing extreme shit. Right. And so it's not like, oh, well, there are hints that there may be something going on there. And then the zombification accentuates that craving for pain. It kind of starts at 9 and then there's nowhere to go but 10. So it doesn't feel like you have an escalation.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Also,
well, this ties into the fact that what I don't understand and I don't buy where the script really falls flat is that we get zero time to believe these two love each other.
That's zero time. That's the big thing. That's exactly where I was going to go.
Sorry, I stole your thunder.
Yeah. No. Stole your thunder. For it to really feel like a tragedy, you have to establish this undying, relatable kind of love. We have to understand, what does this guy, other than the fact that Melinda Clarke is hot, which she is, she's fucking gorgeous. Okay. Other than the fact that she's hot and she's kind of crazy and young men like crazy hot girls. Fine.
Yep.
What is it about her that he's attracted to? And vice versa. We have to like believe in their love so that, one, we believe that he would break into a government facility and use zombie juice on his girlfriend to bring her back from the dead. Like, that's
before even that, he was prepared to leave his life. He wanted away from his dad and everything else. And
yeah. And so
and so she celebrates this by grabbing his dick while they're driving on a motorbike and results in accident.
And that was you're spot on. All right, I was waiting for you to get to that part. Her death is her fault. It's their fault.
Yes. Yep.
Her transformation into a zombie is his fault.
Is his fault. Yes.
So it's hard to be sympathetic to idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the entire rest of the movie is contingent upon us feeling this profound empathy for this traumatized woman. Like, to your point, because the whole thing is kind of like this extended metaphor for cutting and self-harm and like, right? So that should be
why is she doing that?
We should be empathizing with her character, but like there's this incontrollable pain inside of her that only self-mutilation seems to temporarily alleviate. But the more she harms herself, the less it's effective in dulling her pain. And she's turning into something she doesn't quite understand. She's losing control. Like that's a tragic, horrible, very real experience that people have. Like the concept of it is like A+. It just does not land because all of the circumstances that lead to that so-called tragedy are of their own making. And like, that can be part of a tragedy where the tragedy is the result of the character's own choices. But we speed run, like you said, through all of that shit in like 10 minutes.
Yep.
Just to get to a bunch of like Chicano zombie bullshit that is like the effects are cool. They are. But like I don't care. I don't care about those
because you have to have a body count, right? And they need to have some characters die in the middle there, and also have the zombies come back at the end to overrun the military.
But even like
base.
they take the guy,
you're right.
the shopkeeper who gets shot. They then try to take him to the hot. Like it's so contrived and badly executed.
All that stuff could have been cut, and we could have had an extra 10 minutes at the start of the film establishing why is she like this. Why is she self-harming?
That's something for you to say it because you're like, hey, you could cut a couple deaths and actually establish characters.
Yes, and then we could have had and maybe put more of that budget of the low part into the end sequence and have a few more gore-tastic deaths in, which would have kept blood perverts, as you like to call me, like me, happier.
Yep.
So yeah, it would have worked a lot better. I mean, we've just workshopped a better film. Clearly, the $2 million they had at the time in 1993, I guess they shot this in late 92, early 93. They just, we're just going to put out a better movie than the last one. That won't be hard. And they're not wrong because that last one sucks.
Yeah. Now, look, I will say this. I think, I don't know that Melinda Clarke is good in this movie performance-wise.
I thought she was pretty good. I bought it.
I think she's okay.
She's better than Kurt.
Yeah, so he's terrible.
Better than Kent McCord. Yeah, sorry, not Kent McCord. What's his name? His name is J. Trevor Edmund.
Oh, he's terrible. Handsome, but terrible. I don't think that again, like it makes the movie slightly different than what it is, but there's almost no internal reflection. Julie doesn't. It's all like, what is the movie centered around? Is the movie centered around Kurt is a character. He's our protagonist, and he's fallen in love with this woman who has self-destructive behavior. And so
it's traumatized in some way.
Yes.
Which we didn't find out.
We understand the movie establishes why he loves her, and we are put into his shoes. And so we empathize with him as to why he would try to save a self-destructive woman, quite literally, from killing herself or from death. And then it doesn't work, right? Like you can't save people. And like, if that's like the thrust of the movie, you write it in one particular way. If the thrust of the movie is it's about Julie and the tragedy of her being the self-destructive character and the consequence that has on this guy that she loves, who maybe comes from a more straight-laced, normal, more healthy family background, and like what that does and the sort of person she becomes, like that's another perspective you could write the movie to. And the zombie stuff is just an extended metaphor for that. But instead, the movie kind of splits the difference and says the movie's about them as a couple. But when you do that, then neither one of them are actually a character. Because we never really get time just like sitting with her about like what is motivating her, who is she, other than a hot goth chick who's crazy.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
And we don't ever get anything, like you said, we don't ever get anything with him of like, why is he just so disgruntled about his life? Why is he so in love with this girl? And like, it's kind of there. I get it. I can infer like he comes from this straight-laced background. She's the opposite of that. He's a teenager. He's rebelling against his dad. He's a rebel without a cause. He picks the rebellious bad girl, and she quite literally leads him astray, which is his father's fear. And it's a father's worst. But it's also like, it's also kind of about his dad's invention of the zombie freeze goo. Like it needed to pick a character and center the emotional core of the movie from their perspective. And it didn't. And we just get this sort of paper thin relationship. And then like because that's so paper thin at the beginning, it kind of doesn't matter what you do for the rest of the movie, how good it is, how good it isn't. The core isn't there. It's a hollow kind of a film. So I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's hard to argue with any of that. As I said, I think we've workshopped a better film, and it's a shame that they didn't consider, like as you said, we need to buy into this relationship and care about these characters before one of them dies.
Yeah, for something
and
bad
then it could have
happens.
worked.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yep.
Bottom line. And it would have been nice if they didn't die because she was way too horny and clearly was using sex to lead him along.
Yep.
But it is what it is. I defend this film, though, because it's trying to do the right thing by this series versus what the second film was, which, as we said, is just a shitty Porky's Meatballs Part 3 fucking wannabe film.
Yep.
And compared to what's to come, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen.
The one other thing, the other feather in the cap of this is that even though her aesthetic on the cover of the poster in the movie isn't exactly 100% what she looks like in the movie, she strikes it a memorable figure, and I don't just mean because of her looks, like the bizarro glass and knives and shit, and like all the metal, the body mod shit she does as a zombie. She's kind of a memorable monster figure.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree. I would have liked to have seen her wade into more people with all that get up as opposed to the very small scene we get of that happening.
I don't think Screaming Mad George worked on this. Like he did Society and some of the other more squelchy Brian Hughes and stuff. I don't think he's on this one. And maybe I don't know if they couldn't afford Screaming Mad George or whatever, but I felt some of the zombie effects.
It was 5 different FX companies, according to Fangoria issue 127.
Okay.
And Steve Johnson's XFX was the main one of those.
Not Screaming Mad George.
No mention of Screaming Mad George. 2 other little slightly interesting things. The man you said before, Brian Peck, pedophile.
He's in it.
He's in this movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the second one, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the only active appear all 3. And Hellraiser 3. Hey, movie that's immortalized for all time in the no copyright intended vault. And Waxwork director Anthony Hickox plays one of the government scientists killed in the first scene of the movie.
Blowing out your shorts.
Nice little, everything's a ring. Every time is a circle.
Get wrecked. I give this one a 3 out of 10. It's my second best of the series.
Wow. You are in rare, harsh form. I'm giving it a 5.7 out of 10. It's also my second best of the series.
You said what?
5.7. I'm passing this film.
And what did you give?
Higher than Sunset Boulevard before you even get there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, if Trox and 425 got into the monkey's casket,
245,
24, yeah, whatever it is, got into the monkey's casket and raised the monkey in Sunset Boulevard, would you like that better?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it would have helped that movie for me.
Oh my God, it's such a good movie, Paul. You're wrong. All right. We will be back after these messages.
Just because things look very much the same doesn't mean they are. Take these 2 cheese sandwiches. They look alike, but Sarah's tastes much better because it's got Kraft singles made from 5 ounces of milk per slice. Tommy's has imitation slices made from mostly oil and water. So don't forget, just because things look alike doesn't mean they are.
Sarah?
Kraft singles.
Tommy?
Milk makes them better.
Fast forward, weirdos, to 2005. When every horror sequel looked like it was shot in a parking garage somewhere in Bulgaria, Return of the Living Dead Necropolis is proof that sometimes the scariest thing isn't zombies, it's Eastern Europe. The government's back, the gas is back, and somehow the only thing that didn't come back was the budget. Ooh! You wanted the party to keep going. Well, careful what you wish for.
On July 3rd, 1984, an Army canister was breached and released a deadly compound known as trioxin upon Louisville, Kentucky. What followed was a night of carnage that left thousands dead.
You're sure they're here?
They're here, my friend. And what a better place to keep them safe.
The American government has nothing to do with this transaction.
How many do you want for your personal use?
All of them.
Now, the dead have returned. And this time,
you gotta see this.
It's a new generation.
What the hell is this place? It's a nursery.
Bioweapons section. We're going to phase out our human subjects and replace them with this cloning program.
back from the grave.
Oh my God!
And ready to party again. Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis.
The situation is now under control, and there is no threat to the surrounding community.
Look for it on DVD.
Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis is a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was directed by a guy whose name I can't pronounce because he's not from this country. It was written by
Elroy Elkium.
It was written by William Butler and Aaron Stragoni. There's Trial and Return of Nobody. None of these people ever did anything. This film was released.
Wow, hang on.
Oh, well, Peter Coyote. Whatever. E.T. I guess it is a Trial and Return. He was in E.T. He plays Keys.
There you go.
Trial and Return of Peter Coyote, who played Keys in E.T. Paul corrected me. I said these are all nobodies. Whatever. This film was released October 15th, 2005 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Say the budget.
On a budget of $6 million.
How? Where?
I would venture that both the movies were made for one budget.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Maybe.
I bet you they spent like $3 million on each. There's no box office because it was a DVD and TV release. A corrupt biotech company recovers trioxin, calls it something else, from Chernobyl, triggering a new outbreak that traps teens inside a zombie-infested facility.
Peter Coyote's career is officially deader than the zombies in this film. As the guy who made Eight-Legged Freaks ensures no one will touch the Return of the Living Dead franchise for generations to come with the first of two terrible sci-fi movie channels.
Is that who he is?
Channels, movies.
The director did Eight-Legged Freaks?
Uh-huh. That film, Eight-Legged Freaks, had a budget of $30 million. How do you go from that to this?
Crazy.
And that movie made money. Eight-Legged Freaks didn't make a lot of money, but it made just enough money to get everybody back in the black. And it's considered a cult classic. It probably made a shit ton of money on home DVD and Blu-ray and the like. And yet his next follow-up films are these two, Necropolis and Rave to the Grave.
What?
And then only ever makes one more movie, the sequel to Without a Paddle, Nature's Calling.
What the fuck? Who did this guy piss off?
Yeah, exactly.
What
That's
that
my
tells
question.
you is he was an asshole or something on the set of Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yep.
Like he's a creep, he's an asshole. And obviously, like if you could be a creep, and if you're likable, they'll keep giving you work. This guy must have been a creep and an asshole.
Yeah, he must have been the absolute pits.
And if you told me like
sense.
Eight-Legged Freaks is not one of my favorite films, but it's competent.
Yeah, it's not my spiders giggling at each other and rubbing their legs together in glee is not my thing. But yeah,
but it's a competently made movie for what it is. And you're like,
yeah.
Then he makes this.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa,
bizarre.
Yeah, it's filmed in Eastern Europe. It was released in edited form on TV first. Then the R-rated DVD came out. Nobody likes these movies, and here's what I say. Okay. This opens with a poor man's Paul W.S. Anderson level satire, which is already a poor man's Paul Verhoeven satire. It's like a straight up a rip-off commercial like you would have seen in the Resident Evil movies back in the day.
Yes, yep.
And again,
Hybratech.
Yes.
Not Hydra, Hybra.
Right. And as horror hosts, as men who have sat through hundreds of horror movies together, how many sequels inexplicably involve motocross bikes?
At least one. Hills Have Eyes, Part 2.
I suppose motocross kids were like the punks of the early aughts, I guess, like the extreme sports guys or whatever. But I mean this is no pun in either direction. We are out of gas with this series. We are out of trioxin, and we are out of biodiesel, and we are out of gasoline, and we are out of ethanol. This movie is running on vapors.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And like many, many movies wear their inspirations on their sleeves. I can only assume that the inspiration for this director who I've now learned was once a real director, at least one time, was Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
This movie it feels like somebody watched House of the Dead and was like, that's it. That's what we need to be doing. That's where we need to take the series. What's Uwe Boll doing? Okay, yep, that's it. Alone in the Dark. Yep, that's what we're doing. This is terrible.
And Uwe Boll said, I refuse to get involved with this piece of shit. No.
It feels like he turned it down and they went to like director jail where this guy was living after Eight-Legged Freaks and was like, the only guy we can get to do it is the guy who's been blacklisted from Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Even Uwe Boll is too good for this script. This is terrible. This entire movie fucking sucks.
You know how I was debating with you, defending Return of the Living Dead Part 3 a little just before, as reflected in our wildly different marks that we gave the film, even if they are ending up in the same place. I ain't doing that for this film. I have nothing to say redeeming about it. No, my one piece of redeemia, make a word up, is it's better than the next one by the smallest of infinitesimal margins. That's all I got. This film sucks. Like, as you said, the production of it, it's so cheap and nasty. Everybody who works at Hybrid Tech has an Eastern European accent. Every extra on the film has an Eastern European accent. The dubbing is atrocious.
Here's what's crazy. They dubbed the movie. The people they got to dub have Eastern European accents. What the fuck is the point of dubbing?
Yes.
Why did you dub it? Why did you dub it?
Do not understand.
Okay, when Fulci makes a movie and everybody is speaking a different language, they're speaking Italian, they're speaking Spanish, they're speaking English, they're speaking, right? And then they post-sync the movie. They get a bunch of people who at least can pretend to be American.
Yeah,
who do the dubbing. These guys went to Eastern Europe, shot in whatever fuck language they shot in. Then they got Eastern European people to do the dub, so it's still unintelligible.
They probably got the same guys to come and do it. Their ADR couldn't hear you clearly enough in the original edit. Just come do it again in the studio.
This is nothing against people. Nothing against Eastern Europeans. But what the fuck is the point? And also, like, you're trying to kind of sell this to us as, where is this happening? Where, like, what country is this supposed to be in?
I assume it's meant to be in small town America.
Is it?
I think so.
Because I think the next one definitely is, and it's even more foreign.
Well, the next one is a direct sequel to this one.
Well, kind of.
They're off at college. They're off at college
none
doing
of the characters remember the events of the first film.
Oh, thank you. One of the reasons I fucking hate the next movie with a fiery passion. Yeah. But anyway. And again, watching them backwards, I didn't get that till after I was watching this one and go, oh, what? Anyway, we'll get to it.
Those are the limits of the teachings of Christ, Paul.
Yeah, there is a price to be paid to saving the good stuff for last. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. I found this to be just why. That was my question. This feels like the sort of movie where through a series of bankruptcies, some foreign 3-letter conglomerate gets the rights to make a movie, right? Some 80s production company went bankrupt, and through a series of bankruptcies and transfers, somebody looks at the sheet of assets they have at some venture capitalist firm and goes, well, what do we own?
It's a front. It's a front for the mob.
And then we go, oh, well, we apparently own Return of the Living Dead, but we have to option it by 2006 or the rights revert to the original creator. Well, shit. Let's just slap something together and put it out on DVD back when that was a booming market. And then we can just eventually make a real movie out of it, maybe. This feels like when Marvel would be like, hey, Roger Corman, can you make a Fantastic Four movie for us that we never intend to release? Or Roger Corman wants to do it, right? So that he can hold on to the rights and not have to revert back to Marvel. Like, it feels like they made this movie to hold the estate of Dan O'Bannon hostage and like Pay us money or we'll release Necropolis.
Well, they clearly didn't pay the money because and we're going to make a worse.
Well,
movie.
he spent all that money on
rave
horrors.
To the fucking grave.
Dan
That'll teach
O'Bannon
you.
spent all his money on horrors, so he had nothing left.
He had nothing left.
That estate was dry, Paul.
Is this the right time to mention it's taken 20 years, right? So if what you said there is true, clearly ownership has lapsed now to somewhere else because we're meant to be getting before the end of the year
I'm saving
a
that
new
to the
Return
end.
of the Living Dead.
I'm saying that to
Oh,
the
you
end.
were? Right.
Yeah.
Ignore that.
There's
Strike that from the record.
There's 2 coming.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
What else are there to say about this film? Okay, so we get Uber zombies at the end.
That's
they pop
literally
out.
straight out of the second Resident Evil. That's
right.
The Genesis project or whatever, right? Or whatever it is, yeah. But I mean, the
Which I
Genesis
dispatched very quickly.
Yeah. It's
very
just,
quickly. I like the fact he doesn't even react when his dad. We see his dad as all part of this. It's like this. There's no truth. The characters are completely
did a
inconsistent.
part of you come alive though? Because as you were watching this, you thought, something about this. Did it give you a little tingle? And you're like, Hellraiser 3.
No.
When his parents came out with all the Borg prosthetics on, where you're like, CD Cenobite. Yeah, that's my favorite.
No.
What I want you to know.
I resent the implication that this film has anything to do with that triumph of cinema.
What I want you to know is that your experience of watching this movie is my experience of watching Hellraiser 3. They're the same thing to me.
So wrong.
They
wrong.
look the same. They feel the same. They could have been filmed anywhere in some Balkan state somewhere. They abysmal.
Pete, are you listening to this? Please write with your strong thoughts to Jason at Binge Movies.
Pete doesn't listen to this show. He got what he needed from it, and he's moving.
He got what he needed. Binge Movies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hellraiser 3 in the vault.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly.
I'm out.
He squeezed this stone for all the blood he could get out of it, and he took the fuck off. Look, I think this movie is abysmal. I think it's terrible. I give it a 1 out of 10.
Yes.
It's my number 5.
Oh, wow. Well, no. We finally dissent.
Yes.
I agree. It is abysmal and it's terrible, and I look forward to hearing how you can possibly justify Rave to the Grave as a better movie than this absolute piece of shit. I gave it 1.8 out of 10. It's my 4th of the week. And there's a reason we haven't talked much about it, because there's nothing to say.
No.
Everything is a misstep. The acting's horrendous. Peter Coyote is in this film more than is in the next film, because he saw the way out, as we're about to get to. He at least brings something to the table, and
yes.
at least the characters here are, acting in upstanding ways to help a friend and try and, at least there's something to that. The next film, in light of this film, is fucking comprehensible. But let's do it.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey kids, here comes Peter Pumpkin. For a safe Halloween, do what Peter does. Wear a light-colored costume short enough so you don't trip. If you wear a mask, make sure you can see. Makeup's better. Don't crisscross the street. Call on one side, then the other. Parents, set boundaries, and it's time to be home. Carry a flashlight for extra safety. And let's all have a safe Halloween.
This is it, cool friends. The party is definitely over. Rave to the Grave. The film that asked, what if zombies did ecstasy, and then actually went through with it. They turned trioxin into a party drug, and surprise, it kills the vibe. It's loud, it's neon, it's the cinematic hangover to a franchise that started in the graveyard and ended in a dorm room at room temperature. You don't have to go home, but you sure as hell can't stay here. Lace up your Doc Martens, take your vitamins, and don't dance too close to the fog machine. It just might be leaking trioxin.
4 times before, you've experienced the horror.
What's in there?
The last of the missing Trioxin 5 canisters.
But I hope it's not more trouble.
4 times before, you've seen the chaos.
This is the original canister.
You guys gotta see this.
Somebody opened the canister. There's some kind of goo everywhere.
somebody drops some Z, they become a zombie no matter what.
Maybe the kids haven't dropped any of the pills yet.
They're back from the grave and ready to rave.
Get down!
Return of the Living Dead, rave to the grave.
You guys ready for a Halloween no one's gonna forget?
Look for it on DVD.
Return of the Living Dead, rave to the grave, has a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's all the same people because it was shot the same time. It was aired on the same day.
Wow.
College students sell trioxin as a party drug, turning a rave into a flesh-eating massacre.
Fuckwit 25-year-olds playing late teens decide partying with toxins that killed half of their friends last movie is a good idea as the Return of the Living Dead franchise gurgles its last.
They don't recall the events at all of the first film.
Oh my God. And I was like, okay, they're not the same characters. They're doing the same thing as James Kasdan and
no, they are the
Tom
same
Matthews.
characters.
But I'm like, no, they are the same characters.
Yeah.
Cody,
literally
you've just watched
don't remember.
half your friends die
Yep.
in a zombie attack. And when they bring you the trioxin, you decide because your scaly mate takes a sample of it to make it into a drug. What could possibly go wrong?
Yep.
It might be the single dumbest decision I've ever seen in a horror film. Full fucking stop. Because the whole film doesn't happen otherwise.
Is this a direct sequel or a soft reboot?
The only way you can justify any of this is saying it's a soft reboot. But given what you've just described, shot back to back, same actors, same characters, they literally have Peter Coyote with the leftover trioxin canisters. It has to be a sequel.
Have you ever watched two films that were shot simultaneously and the second one was a soft reboot of the one they made just at the same time as they made
that screened 90 minutes before this one?
Right. It's like they got through filming the first movie. They're like, well, that didn't fucking work. Let's reboot it. Let's do it again. They just put them both out. Same writers, same directors, same cast, same crew, direct continuation. None of the characters have any memory of zombies at all.
The main guy says something at some point like, after Peter Coyote dies in the first scene, because he's like, I will be in the next movie, but only if I'm in it for less than 90
seconds. Does he not
seconds.
remember his evil uncle turning his parents into fucking zombies, robots?
But he makes some allusion to, he's like, he had some issues.
Yeah.
Is what he says to someone.
Okay, this is where you're going to disagree with me. I think that it visually looks better than the other one.
Well, they're inexplicably having a rave in a graveyard with all these little tombstones that you trip over and
I don't mean I don't
and,
literally mean the set design. I mean the actual look of the movie looks better. Set design shit, but it actually physically looks better. The aesthetic is better.
They just completely meld into one for me. It's all dark blues and white. It's awful.
Tonally trying to be more in line with the earlier entries.
Well, yes, there is that. Or at least the first two.
I think limiting the story basically to one location, this college campus, also helps. I think the first movie is just trying to be like an actual movie almost. It's going here, it's going there, and there's no budget for it. There's no time for it. There's no competency for it. I think just locking it down and going, we're never leaving these 4 dorms in this one quad. We're never leaving the Central Plaza and the graveyard. We're never leaving these 3 locations. It is what it is. I think that kind of overall helps the movie. Now, is this the first zombie blowjob in cinematic history?
I'm sure I've seen some very disturbing film. I can't remember what it was called or where it was, where they're keeping zombie women for stuff to do. I wouldn't imagine, however, that would involve inserting your bit into a zombie's
zombies
mouth.
or corpses?
No, they were zombies.
Okay.
They were animated.
I thought you were referencing your favorite film of all time, Necromantic.
Oh, God. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Also, not my favorite film of all time. Can we just be clear?
I know you love that movie. It's between Necromantic and the Ten Commandments.
And Hellraiser 3.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's your trinity. Could you call that Living Dead Roadhead? Or Night of the Living Head?
There you go. There's your porno parody title.
But is that the joke?
I don't know.
Or
I don't know.
The joke that I don't know if this has made its way to Australia. People used to say that we refer to blowjobs as giving brain.
No, never heard that.
So he's like, "Oh yeah, so whatever," and she's like, "Brains," and she like is giving him brain, giving him dome, topping him off, sloppy toppy. And
is that
so,
right? Okay.
And also, is it like some guys think with their dick, and so that's where his brain is because he's literally only thinking with his dick?
You are. Come on. They just wanted to have a salacious, over-the-top moment and a gory implied death because, of course, you don't see it. Because why?
There's not even blood though. If you're gonna bite a dick off, I want there to be blood.
Oh, yes. And also,
to quote Paul Thomas Anderson, there will be blood.
If you're pick up your girlfriend, you're going out. You're going to head to some hill somewhere. And
by the way, like a Friday the 13th movie, we've never seen those characters before, I don't think. There's just two randos, right?
They were, I vaguely remember they were in an earlier scene with the group talking. I think that was it. I think.
Okay. All right. Okay.
She is standing waiting for you to pick her up as you drive, whatever.
That's
the character drives past.
That's a great point, yes.
She gets attacked by two people, jumps in the car, they slash at her or I don't think they break the window, but they manage to cut her or whatever.
Yep.
And they just drive off like, that's a bit weird. Yes, it was, wasn't it? That's exactly how you would behave, Jason. You would not be concerned about anything other than getting your sloppy top slopped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's so shit. It's such a shit scene. I'm like, come on, buddy. She's not even facing you. She's, yeah. All right. Oh, and she jumps down on my dick. Of course, no problem at all whatsoever. He might be the dumbest character. No, he's second to dumb behind Cody.
The craziness of it is the bad Resident Evil style parody that's in the beginning of the one previous to this establishes that Hydrabad or whatever it's called, Hydratech,
I think,
successfully managed to contain the zombie apocalypse. That's their advertisement.
No one else has managed.
Yeah, that's their advertisement.
That is just true,
right?
Yes.
That we make chemicals for everyday life or whatever, for everyday solution, whatever it is. And so the whole world in that first movie is post-zombie potential apocalypse. So they know that zombies exist in that first movie. So if this is a direct sequel to that movie, let's forget that our main characters have amnesia or whatever. They got Men in Black. Fine. This kid, if you are living in a post-zombie world and your girlfriend gets scratched by actual, presumably zombies.
Very good point.
And you go to make out point and she's not looking at you and instead is going, like you said, I would just immediately assume that she was a zombie.
Yes.
And I would get the fuck out of that
And
car
run.
or kick her out of the car or whatever and just run for my life.
Mm-hmm.
I would not, no matter how hard I was. And boy, sometimes can I get hard, Paul. I would, no matter how hard I got, whip my penis out and just be like, you know what? It's better than blue
gonna suck
balls.
itself.
Yeah, right. Right. It's worth the risk. There are men who will stick their dick in anything. But I cannot imagine that any man, well, that's actually not true. I've lived through COVID. No, somebody would stick their dick in a zombie's mouth. But in a movie where the character is being written, can't we write something better than that?
The whole scene was terrible. Just to get to that end gag.
It's just well, do zombies have a gag reflex?
They
don't have reflexes. So there's no
is
gag
he going
reflex.
They're not breathing, so they shouldn't need to, right?
Exactly. That's the deepest of throats.
Stop. So, all right. You've made this drug. Because again, as you pointed out, this is a world where we know zombies exist. You've survived your own personal zombie attack.
That's right.
This is made from the same chemical stuff that just about killed all of us before.
Yep.
You go ahead and decide to make this party drug.
Turn my parents
anyway.
into Borgs.
Yep. Oh, it wasn't him. It was the other guy. Anyway. you go ahead and make this. So then the main guy, the son of the parent Borgs,
yeah,
and his guest girlfriend, because even that character's gone through quite the development since the last film. Because she was the ditzy, rode my bike into the back of the car, klutzy girl who survives the first film, and now she's a PhD. Yeah. Who has her hair straighter and nicer and looks more attractive.
But is an asshole too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like to the other guy who was.
She went from being a nice idiot to
yes.
Asshole genius.
excellent, consistent characterization. So well done. Well done again, Butler, Strogoni, and Elkanah.
And again,
brilliant
exact
stuff.
same character. This is not a 1 and 2 scenario where it's just as a funny gag because they're coming back as different people. This is a direct continuation, picking up some months after the events we've just watched.
Bizarre.
It's
this whole thing. And again, having watched them back to front, I didn't pick up any of this until I watched the one previous, this Necropolis. I'm going, that retrospectively made this one so much worse.
Well, yeah, I could see that, yeah.
It's not good. It's not good. And then we get to the government agents. We haven't mentioned them, Jason.
That's Pulp Fiction, right? Is that what they're going for there?
Is that what they're trying to do 10 years after the fact?
They got two Balkies to try to beat Pulp Fiction. Isn't that it? It's like a weird buddy cop.
At one point they say they're Interpol agents.
Yes, they do. Yes.
So Interpol is involved in American business now on American soil where an American college is about to have a rave and they're running around trying to solve this problem. Does that imply that once again, maybe I'm not giving this film enough credit. Maybe it implies that this is a subtle dig at the US government once again dropping the ball in relation to all of this stuff. And we have to have Europe come in and fix it up.
That's going to be our future in about 4 years. So
this film is prescient. Is that what you're saying?
And speaking of, I screwed up. There's a factual error that I've made.
Okay.
Wayne would not be the first ass-eating zombie.
Oh, who was the first ass-eating zombie?
One of the zombies in this movie eats the ass of one of the cheerleaders.
Oh, that's right. It does. Wayne will need to find a new shtick.
He'll need to find a new shtick. Yep.
That was bizarre as well.
Just don't let a zombie go down on a shtick.
As we have discussed.
Yeah. Right.
Probably way more than the rest of the film.
That's all I remember of this movie is a guy gets his dick sucked by a zombie and I went, am I an adult? That's what I thought as myself. What have I done with my life? That I'm sitting here.
How did we arrive here?
5 movies deep.
There's a reason this is not a Spooktacular.
Guy get his dick sucked by a zombie filmed in a fucking random ass field in fucking Dr. Doom, wherever Dr. Doom's from, Latveria. Fucking, goddamn. What kind of a life is this?
And then the climax of this film, to choose my words poorly, is the rave takes place. The zombies start spreading through them as people start turning. Thankfully, Cody dies trying to defend whatever random.
And now
girl
they can apparently just have full blown conversations.
Yeah, and then the government agents, the Interpol agents, manage to secure themselves a helicopter because, of course, they would need resources, and they start firing. The helicopter starts firing in, shooting guns and whatever, trying to gun them out, and then just goes too hard. We're going to ape the end of the first film. We're going to drop a bomb.
Yeah.
What a nihilistic way to end the series. At least it goes out on the right note. Except our main characters and one of the Interpol agents climb out of the ruins of what's not. There's a little bit of black on one of the walls, but otherwise all we can see is bodies on the ground because that's what happens when you blow things up. They just lay on the ground. And again, as well established in canon, once you blow things up, of course, it solves the problem perfectly. This film doesn't give a fuck about anything that's come before it, least of all the film previous to it. And the day's all happily ended. Hooray.
You're forgetting something.
Perfect. Oh, please.
No. Think about it. We get kind of a mid-credit scene almost.
Oh, God. So yes, you are right. This makes me so angry. So, of course...
Just like the characters in this movie, you forgot what you had just happened to you.
Tarman comes back in this one comes out of the canister. Of course, he's a terrible version thereof. He's the budget version of what's come before, even though this film apparently had the same budget-ish as the one preceding, as the first film. And he gets driven off. They shoot at him and he disappears. And no one thinks about him anymore. Okay, well, that zombie's cool. He's not there where we just shot, so it's okay. We next see him with a real quick flash. The film even kills its own gag in the mid-credit sequence by showing it as this very quick 5-second scene in between setting up the next scene at the rave. Tarman's holding a sign that says rave or bust. Is it? And then at the very end of the film, we circle all the way back, and the mid-credit sequence is there. He's holding the sign. I'm like, why would you have it in the middle of the film? It's shit as it is. It's terrible as a abomination of an ending to this character, a character that scarred me for life and probably countless others. When you think of zombie cinema, the best zombie ever made, there he is in all his glory from Return of the Living Dead. Let's do a shit-ass version of him and then make him be now hitchhiking somewhere with a lame-ass fucking sign, and then a car pulls over and drives away from him. Wow.
Do you think that's a trenchant commentary on how the United States government treats its veterans?
No.
Since theoretically, most of the tar men are soldiers who were from the Vietnam era who were put into
No, I don't think that's what they intended at all, Jason. I think they were going for a laugh.
You don't think it's a metaphor for Agent Orange and the effect that it had on...
No.
You don't?
Not in this film.
How it left so many millions of young men affected by Agent Orange, literally rotting in their own skin and panhandling.
Not in this film.
This isn't the first blood of zombie movies.
You need to stop making these causal or connections with other films and sullying them by connection.
You don't
only.
think this is a referendum on the treatment of Vietnam veterans?
I do not.
As the young millennials just party and get high, they've literally forgotten what just previously scarred the generation that came before them, which are now
the 90 minutes before them,
who've been stuck in barrels, who've been put into containment, put away, shelved, forgotten by the military, forgotten by their own country.
No, I don't.
Left to shamble the streets of Anytown, USA, begging for a ride, begging for a meal, begging for a hot bowl of soup.
It's an awful state of affairs, but it's not what this film is about.
What's it about then?
Very good question. It's not about making money.
Is it about people? That's the real question. We can't answer this. This clearly wasn't made for any kind of artistic purpose. But if you make it at this level, so poor. Maybe I'm wrong because the DVD market was so popular, and they made two movies for $6 million. So they probably made their money back. But I mean, they might have made that money just straight from the Sci-Fi Channel. Who said, "Go produce it."
What is it? How does it work? Sci-Fi says, "Here, make this." Do they give them the money, or do they?
Maybe they sold it to them and said, "You get first."
Sold it to them,
or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. But you're right. Like this doesn't feel like a movie that was made for profit. So it wasn't made for passion. It wasn't made for profit. It wasn't made for artistic merit. It wasn't made because we love this series and we want to do it justice. So what the fuck is it? Is it literally just to get, for the young actors, is obviously to get something on the CV, get something on your resume that you starred in a movie.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be in anything, right? To get your start.
But what about everybody else? What about the writers? What about the director? This guy directed a Hollywood motion picture. Why is he doing this?
Do you have the same laws? And I don't know about whether it's because Sci-Fi is a cable channel, right? Not a free-to-air channel. Yep. We have laws about our free-to-air channels here in Australia, and I think they've changed slightly recently, but it used to be they had to have a certain percentage of content that was homegrown.
Yeah,
so you weren't allowed to just...
What do you think this is, Socialist Canada?
Yeah, right.
I mean, we will now, every movie that's not produced in the United States is going to have 100% tariff slapped on it.
Right.
So we will now, by God.
So yeah, that's kind of, maybe there was some kind of content amount that sci-fi had to have a certain number of films made
in Bulgaria,
and yeah, well, just for that year or
Right,
that quarter or whatever
Right.
it is. And this is the easiest way is, well, we'll just give them an extra $1 million and they can make a second one back to back. Who gives a shit about it? We just need to meet our quota. That's all I've got.
Yeah. It just kind of takes all the magic out of movies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you're like, literally somebody in 2005 had a fucking Excel spreadsheet open and said, wow, we got about $6 million we got to spend, or otherwise we're going to be in a different tax bracket. So what can we do? Oh, well, some
The
guy
executive won't
in
give
the
us a budget next year.
in East Germany has the rights to Return of the Living Dead. I guess we could shit one of those out. Okay, give him the money.
Bizarre. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, we've joked about it, and obviously the quality of this series is pretty terrible as the overall. No one talks about Return of the Living Dead and their favorite horror movie
Is
franchises.
this the worst series that we have covered? I mean, this is the first of the shock horrors that we've ever done. But we've talked about Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser. I swear to God, there's one more in there. Halloween. Maybe not even another one. Is this the worst? Halloween's
pound
pretty
for
bad.
pound.
Halloween
is bad.
Yeah.
But Halloween has Halloween 2, which is passable, which is a
I think
decent
you mean
follow-up.
Halloween 3.
And people love Halloween 3. I'm not one of them, but it is a competently made film.
Yeah.
And then it goes downhill. And then there's Halloween H2O, which I don't mind that one either. And then if we really want to get into the newer ones, at least the first one of the newer ones is pretty good too.
Yeah.
This has nothing after the first film. Nothing that's worthwhile whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know, and unlike Hellraiser, which has 3 excellent films, culminating in the third one.
You're talking about Hellraiser, Hellraiser 2, and Hellraiser Bloodline.
No, I'm not.
Hellraiser Resurrections?
No.
With that fat pinhead they got. They finally got to the side of the road and were like, you're pinhead now. Get your fat ass in here. Stand here in front of that green screen for 10 minutes. We're going to lose the rights, goddammit, if we don't make a movie.
Definitely not. Nightmare on Elm Street has the first and the third, the Camp Valley of the second, even the fourth one I don't hate.
A New Nightmare.
And a New Nightmare, which is legitimately a very interesting follow-up and final hurrah for the series.
Friday
if
the
you don't count
13th
remake.
has Jason Lives. That's it.
4 and 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the remake, which I stand by as a solid horror film. I know people don't like it, but I do. So yeah, by comparison, this is the worst horror series I think we've watched. Oh, Ghoulies. Ghoulies would be worse than
that.
this.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
I forgot. Yes, that's the 5th. Yes, Ghoulies. That's right. Yeah, Ghoulies is worse. I will say that Ghoulies is worse than this.
Yeah, because the first film stands alone, right? It's as we've discussed, it's a
You're talking
seminal
about the
piece of
first
horror
Ghoulies,
cinema.
right?
No,
Because I was going to argue with
first
you.
Return of the Dead.
I think when the Ghoulies go to college, that's when it's at its best. When
my God,
When they
I
have
hate that fucking movie.
the frat house has that ghoulie toilet, and that the comic book falls in the toilet, and they come out of the toilet.
I would have to really think hard what's worse, that film or this one.
I think those Ghoulies movies are longer. They felt longer. I don't know
Certainly
though.
felt
It's,
something.
honestly, it's neck and neck. It's neck and neck.
It is. It is.
All right. So, what did you give Rave to the Grave?
Rave the Grave, worst of the week. Should be a nomination for the Anti-Vault. I'm giving it a flat 1 out of 10.
1.25 out of 10. It's the 4th worst of the series.
It's 5th. It's the worst. The absolute worst. The bottom, the pits. Doesn't get any worse than this. Anyway, I don't think either of us will die on the hill of which one's worse than these 2 films. They both fucking suck.
I think there's a chance that there might be a new worse coming. And let's talk about the future of this franchise.
All right, yes. All right, fire away.
So, first of all, there's a fan-funded Linnea Quigley, Tom Matthews movie called Trash's Revenge.
That one I did not know of. Okay.
Which is,
fan-funded.
I
It
don't even
doesn't
know
count.
if it's in production.
Doesn't count.
It's TBA, but they said, we're going to bring back the fan favorites, including actors who have died via CGI.
What? That's madness.
So you're going to have a fan-funded like Kickstarter movie
No, stop it.
Where they're going to use the funds to create digitally, like James Cameron's digital doppelganger is going to be in the movie.
Oh no. Yep, that'll be worse.
I think Linnea Quigley's directing it herself.
But it's a fan film, right? It's not
No.
going to be released.
It's fan funded.
Oh, is it going to be released?
It's going to be an independent
maybe not
film.
to cinema.
Yeah, it'll be straight to streaming.
If it gets a wide release, then it counts. Okay. All right.
It'll probably be to Shudder or something, you know.
Yeah, if it goes straight to YouTube, it doesn't get seen anywhere else, and it doesn't count.
No. I think it's going to get like a streaming release. Like, yeah.
Okay, then that counts. Yep.
Now, there's another movie that's in the work, which is just called Return of the Living Dead, which is set 18 months after the original in a small town in Pennsylvania. It was
Well, more than I do. I've just seen that trailer.
The Christmas of 2025, which is just right around the corner from us. It has not begun principal photography.
Oh, hasn't it?
No.
Oh, I was watching a video the other day on it, and they were saying they were talking it up at whatever horror convention recently. It's like, yeah, it's really good. Da, da, da.
They've been talking about it, but I literally just went into the production notes, and it's not finished.
Right, so it's not coming out Christmas, and if it is, that's
so
even
they
worse.
hope to. I don't know if they're going to do reshoots or whatever, but maybe principal photography has started. I don't think it's complete because they're talking about working on it, getting more money to work on it more, like the spring of 2026. That was the week that we're recording this. So unless I've got
and the zombie
info.
was dragging a Christmas tree in the trailer, the teaser trailer. So therefore, it must be set at Christmas time. Therefore, it's not coming out until next year.
That's Tarman that's carrying that tree.
Yeah.
Now, is that canonically the original Tarman who got nuked, or is it just another Tarman?
It's another Tarman. It's another
Where'd that
trioxin
one
canister,
come
which. Well,
all the original
there's
eggs,
endless supplies of trioxin 245s.
All the original eggs in the basement of Unita Medical Supply. Did you get that pun, Unita?
I didn't.
Were nuked. So where the hell did that Tarman come from?
Yeah, is this a reboot?
They're saying it is a direct sequel set 18 months
to the original
after the original.
Okay. Well, I think that's the right way to go about it, as long as I can explain
And
it.
they're ignoring all the other sequels, or it's going to be an intercool.
Excellent idea. All for ignoring all the sequels.
But here's
as long as you can explain that the trioxin 245 is there's another container somewhere, and they will. They'll just say, "Oh, look, hey, this one got shipped from Unita, whatever, 20 months ago."
Yeah.
That's all they have to do.
Here's the thing, though. If you drop a bomb on Louisville, Kentucky, and obliterate it, there ain't gonna be nothing left in 18 months of the United States.
Well, it can't be set in the same place. It's got to be somewhere else.
It wouldn't matter. The winds would blow radioactive fallout across the rest of the fucking country. A year and a half later, atomic blasts are not self-contained.
This is true.
Right? Forget the fucking
surely the winds blow
invasion.
Surely the winds blow in one direction. They don't just sit there and spin it all the way out and cover the entire state. So there's got to be areas of the states that'll be safe.
Maybe the West Coast. I think the fucking Mid-Atlantic and East Coast would be gone, and most of the Midwest, because whoever isn't dying from radiation sickness is going to be dying from fucking zombies.
Yeah. Well, as we established, if there is a direct continuation, zombies were rising up outside of Louisville.
That's right. So here's my basic point. I'll give this guy credit because he's the first person. He's probably not the first person to ever say it. He's the first person I ever heard say it. And it's, oh God, I just had a brain fart for his fucking name. Give me 1 second.
This year, there'll be goblins and bats, spacemen and cats. The kooky spooks are coming! Bonehead, Scary Spider, Owly Owl! Yes, the kooky spooks are here. The scary ready-made Halloween costumes that are worn on top of the head. And each kit comes with matching makeup instead of a mask that covers the face, plus poncho and safety tape. Kooky spook costume kits, 9 zany characters to choose from.
Drew McWeeny. You know who Drew McWeeny is?
Is he the guy that did Ain't It Cool News or something? No.
He might have wrote for them, but he did Masters of Horror and...
sorry.
He's on Vor on Netflix, and he did 80s All Over with Scott Weinberg, former guest of this show. Anyway, he once said that some stories only have so much elasticity.
Yep.
Meaning you can't just constantly be stretching them in every direction.
Yeah, or wringing every last drop out
Correct.
of them. Yeah.
I think this is a one and done movie. It ends with effectively the end of the world. There's nowhere left to go unless you just go, none of that happened.
Well, there's a reason why we never had a Thing sequel.
Yes. Because either the world ended or those two, whoever was the Thing, whether they were both human, whether they were both things, whether one of them was the Thing, who gives a shit? They froze to death in that fucking ice.
Yep.
Or somebody came and found them and either saved them or unthawed them, and then the world ended. It's a completely bleak ending.
Unless you're going to show that movie, there's nothing to be done there. Yeah.
Correct.
We had the prequel.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Yeah.
But that's a prequel. It's not afterwards. I just want to be clear. I know that film exists.
Yes. There's a video game. I think that's the sequel to it that I played for.
Yeah, and there's a comic book series, I'm pretty sure as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, some of these things just are what they are, and then they end. Just like the Spooktacular. It was what it was, then it ended. And we're definitely not doing that again.
This is not. You need to be clear in your minds as you listen to the end of this episode. It is not a Spooktacular.
Right. No, it isn't.
Yeah. It will never be referred to as such by anyone ever.
No. But you know what it is? It's time for a recap. Coming in, dead last for me is Return of the Living Dead Necropolis, 1 out of 10. Coming in at number 4 is Rave to the Grave, 1.5 out of 10. Coming in at number 3 is Part 2 with a 2 out of 10. Coming in number 3 is Part 3 with a 3 out of 10. And coming in at number 1 is the original Return of the Living Dead, 8.5 out of 10.
Well, coming in dead last is Return of the Living Dead, Rave to the Grave, 1 out of 10. Second to that is Necropolis, 4th worst of the week, 1.8 out of 10. Return of the Living Dead, Part 2 for me with a 4.1 out of 10. Clearly I like these films more than Jason. Then the third film, Return of the Living Dead 3, is my second of the week with a seriously impressive, apparently, 5.7 out of 10. And then, of course, the original film, the greatest, the one that should have stopped right there, and we would all be celebrating it more than we already do, 8.8 out of 10. It is, of course, my nomination for the Vault and the film of the week. It's also my recommendation of the week. Don't watch any of the other films. Do not bother. There's only one that you need to see.
Well, weirdos and weirdos, we've officially watched 5 movies, 4 resurrections, 3 bad haircuts, and 1 franchise that refuses to stay dead. Now, Paul, are you still with us, or did you get torn asunder by dirty old men?
Thankfully, I'm still with you. Not the way I would choose to go out.
Tonight's autopsy proved one thing. The undead might rot, but so do their franchises. From punk rock panic to Eurotrash zombies, the Return of the Living Dead franchise gave us more brains on screen than in its scripts. But wasn't the journey still worth it, Paul?
I only have one thing to say, Jason.
Send more paramedics.
Well, I do want to give a big thanks to my partner in slime, Paul, from the Countdown.
Thank you for having me on, Jason. Pleasure as always. Well, talking with you about films is a pleasure as always. Watching them was less so.
And not only you're on the Countdown biannually, you are also on the Slashers.
Slashers.
And you can catch him over on Slasher Season 2 with me and the Megan Kearns, carving up the late 80s one dismemberment at a time. And hey, if you survive this graveyard shift and want to keep the lights on here at the last video store in the universe, grab some of our limited run binge movies and slashers merch over at bingemovies.threadless.com. Every tea you buy keeps Paul's aged corpse animated. I thanked Paul. I got my plugs in, but now I want to thank you, the audience.
Thank you for joining us after hours at the last video store in the universe. Until next time, stay sick, turn blue, and when I say shock, shock! You say horror.